Do you know, Roshan, that he was lobbying Trump not to attack Iran? Because he said there would be a war on Israel's interests, not in American interests. This is someone who wasn't following the script. Okay. This is someone who deviated from the plan, and Israel said, maybe we need to take him out. Maybe we need to take him out. And now they're using it to feed into the culture war, which is destroying America, destroying the West, so Israel can keep going, so Netanyahu can stay in power, so they can keep the money going. It begins with an I.
Should we move on?
It begins with an I. It's Israel, damn it. It's Israel. There is something going on. We need the truth, but I'll tell you something, Roshan.
Yeah.
The truth won't come out. The truth will not come out. We don't know the truth about 9/11. We don't know the truth about Charlie Kirk, and we never will. We don't know the truth about the Epstein frickin' Island files. Trump said he was going to release it. Charlie Kirk said Trump was going to release it. What happened to Charlie Kirk? He's dead. He's dead, Roshan. There is something going on. There is something going on. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salaam alaikum and welcome back to another episode of Muslims Uncensored with me, your most favoured and beloved convert to Islam in England, Robert Carter, and the grey fox, the silverback gorilla, whatever you want to call him, Roshan's.
He's got a hairy back. How do you know?
Well, we're very close here on the Five Pillars team. We know each other.
Yeah.
Well, we are back. Another show. We've had a little break. Roshan's old. That's the reason, essentially.
I was
You're
sick,
old.
brother and sis.
You're getting sick. You're getting a bit dodgery. Gets lost on the way to the studio. He shows up late. So, we're taking it easy on poor old Roshan.
Unfortunately last week, I really wanted to do the show because there's so much to talk about, but I was just really sick last week. So that's the reason why we had to break.
That's our thing at Five Pillars, is constantly explaining why we don't do any shows. It's every week it's like, oh, we went abroad, or we're sick, or we're,
Well, next week I might be going abroad as well, so we might miss next week's show.
Another couple of weeks gap. But it helps you, I think.
Keeps it fresh. It keeps it fresh.
Yeah, what's the saying? The further you are away, the stronger your heart grows, or something like that. There's some saying.
The more the viewers don't see us, the more they like us.
Something like that. That's our philosophy here. Yeah. Well, there you go. We've got a good show for you today. Lots happening. I think we'll start off with big news, which is related to Palestine. The Western states recognizing Palestine for the first time, a Palestinian state. The UK, France, Canada, Luxembourg, Portugal, just to name a few, have all jumped on board the recognised Palestine bandwagon. The United States, however, has refused to do so, and this comes at the United Nations General Assembly, which happened in New York. So everyone's making these big announcements in an effort to pressure for an end to the genocide or whatever it is. They're coming up with different excuses, but what I want to focus on really is the viewpoint that the two-state solution, these recognitions, they're pretty meaningless. I mean, it's not stopping the genocide. The two-state solution is a bit of a dead deal. And it's not something which, I think a lot of Palestinians even really believe is going to help fix the situation for them anymore. And they haven't done for quite some time. So although it's being praised, although it's being pushed and people are celebrating it, in reality, it's not going to change very much for the Palestinians, is it, Roshan?
No, it's symbolic nonsense, really. I wouldn't pay too much attention to it. We're seeing all these speeches at the UN General Assembly, all these world leaders talking about recognizing the state of Palestine while a genocide is happening. It's hot air, Robert. It's completely hot air. And I think Keir Starmer obviously gave this speech a few days ago, and I saw some Muslims, thankfully most weren't, but some Muslims were celebrating it. We got the usual Labour Muslim faces outside the Palestine embassy in London at the raising of the flag ceremony, trumpeting this like it's some kind of massive turning point. The reality is there's a genocide. The only thing that's meaningful now is military action against Israel and sanctions. Those are the only things that are meaningful now. Recognizing a Palestinian state, I mean, what Palestinian state is there or can there be? Because Israel's already stolen most of the land, and the part of the land that it hasn't already stolen, it exercises control over economically, the sea space, the airspace. So this is just symbolism. It's a way of kind of pulling the wool over people's eyes. The fact is the Labour Party, even France and all these countries that are recognizing the state of Palestine, they are complicit in 2 years of genocide. They've done nothing to stop it. In fact, they're still selling arms to Israel, some of them. They've still got thriving economic and political ties. They're simply trying to pull the wool over our eyes and pretend that they aren't the genocide enablers that they are.
Exactly, and they're not even recognizing the genocide itself. You know, they're recognizing a state which is basically completely occupied and destroyed.
They can't even say the word. Keir Starmer can't even say the word.
It's ridiculous. And then, yeah, like you said, next election time, all of these freaking genocide participants, whatever you want to call them, enablers, they're all going to swan out and say, no, we did this for Palestine, so you can give us your votes. And then Labour Muslim Network, whatever they're called, Labour Muslim Network, they're all going to come out and go, yeah, see, we told you, you know, you should back Labour, you know, and it's not the part of genocide. No, it is.
We recognise the Palestinian State.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean,
after it had been destroyed.
You tweeted about it because obviously some Palestinians are celebrating this. The PLO, the Palestinian Authority, they're celebrating it. But who are they and what's their agenda? They want to take over Gaza.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
there's something in it for them, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, they're basically working with Israel in a certain way, aren't they? They're the recognised Palestinians, although if there was an election in Palestine, I don't think they'd win it.
I think there's two options for the future of Palestine that are on the table from the Israeli point of view. One is that they have this Greater Israel project. They just annex it all, occupy it all, try and kick as many Palestinians out as possible. That's the Smotrich, Netanyahu, Ben Gvir kind of option. Or plan B would be maybe to extend the West Bank option, which is have quisling Palestinians in power in Gaza, which would be the Palestinian Authority. And their role would be to put up with Israeli settlements in Gaza, to police the Palestinian population, make sure it doesn't uprise against Israel, to be basically Israel's security force in Gaza. So those are the two options that I think Israel is considering at the moment, plan A, plan B. And plan B would basically, I think this whole notion of recognizing a Palestinian state is part of plan B. It's probably Britain's favoured plan and France's favoured plan, that, you know, some Palestinians can remain, but they will remain under the control of the Palestinian Authority, which will be subservient to Israel. It will be demilitarized. What state is demilitarized? So they have no guns. Israel has all the guns. I'd love to see Israel demilitarized, you know? Yes. So this is just, you know, alhamdulillah, I think most Five Pillars readers, we did a few polls on this, they know what's going on. They're not stupid. We're not stupid. But obviously the Labour Party thinks we're stupid Muslims that will just kind of accept a few crumbs. And of course, there are these Labour Muslim MPs that will try to sell it to their constituencies that, oh, here we're doing something for Palestine. Yeah. They're doing nothing for Palestine. It's hot air.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going to keep an eye on that and obviously not let them get away with it during the next general election. That's something to look out for. There was a lot of other things going on at the UN General Assembly. This particular comment by US President Donald Trump has circulated global news. He launched an attack on London Mayor Sadiq Khan, but also claimed that the UK is being taken over by Sharia or something like that. Let's play out a clip and see what he said exactly.
I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor. It's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law, but you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done immediately. This cannot be sustained.
Now, in response to that, Sadiq Khan has actually hit back because he's been launching a number of attacks on him in recent weeks and months, saying he's a terrible mayor and some kind of Islamist, like agent or something in the West. And Sadiq has actually come out and said that he's a sexist Islamophobe and, you know, he's totally not accepting it. But what I want to focus on, again, is a reaction from Nigel Farage, who is like Trump's ally in British politics, his representative or whatever. He attempted on LBC to kind of respond to this point about whether London is being taken over by Sharia, which is this thing we hear time and again, that Britain is some kind of Sharia stronghold. I think JD Vance even... yeah, we wish that here at Five Pillars, but it's not the case. It is not the case. And even JD Vance, I think, fed into this some weeks back.
Yes.
Anyway, let's see how Nigel Farage handled this question.
Okay, Hira, thank you. Chris is in Richmond. Chris, you're through to Nigel Farage. Morning.
Morning, Nigel. Morning, Nick.
Morning.
Nigel, are you prepared to unequivocally condemn Donald Trump's remarks yesterday suggesting that Sadiq Khan wanted to impose Sharia law in London? Yes or no, please?
He didn't say Sadiq Khan wanted to impose Sharia law in London, and he was
yes,
very careful.
Let Mr. Farage, I will come back to this.
I listened to that, and he said it very carefully, but on his... By the way, very important, Chris, with Trump, never take what he says literally, ever, on anything, but always take everything he says seriously. And these comments on...
Explain the distinction there, then.
So he makes a comment, and you might disagree with the tone, you might disagree with the context, you might disagree with the number that he puts out, but you'll find that what he has to say has a point. My last understanding, Chris, there were 85 Sharia courts operating in this country at some level.
Civil level, either way.
Yes, that's
Civil,
right,
yeah.
but operating at some level in this country. So is he right to say that Sharia is an issue in London? Yes. Is it an overwhelming issue at this stage? No. Has the Mayor of London directly linked himself to it? No.
Is the Mayor of London doing as bad a job as President Trump asserts?
Oh, shocking.
The Sharia law is only in civil cases, you know that.
I know it is.
Do you have concerns, then, that it would expand in some fashion?
I have concerns there are people living in Britain who would like for their culture to become our culture as opposed to the other way around, Nick. Yes, of course.
But Jewish people have their own civil
Yes, they do,
as well.
and that's worked beautifully. And when have you ever seen the Jewish community trying to impose their will on us? They've had their own private observance, their own private way of doing things, but never any attempt to impose it upon everybody else.
So, yeah.
He goes on to talk about taxi drivers, but yeah.
There are extreme ends of this that want us to become a country that follows their customs.
And where do you see that? Give me an example where that's been demonstrated recently. I'm assuming we're talking about...
I've met taxi drivers that have told me that. I've met taxi drivers that have told me, we will have Sharia law in Britain, you will live by our rules.
I mean, yeah, so his evidence is some cabbie in Buckinghamshire told him so. That's why...
That's how he knows Sharia's
That's
taken
how he
over.
knows that Sharia's taken over. What a muppet, absolute muppet. Look, I mean, what is this? I mean, the first thing I'd like to say is that Sharia is great. I love Sharia. Sharia is Allah's law. You know, it's based on the Quran and Sunnah. It's the perfect law on earth. And if it was implemented, not only would it be great for Britain, but it would be great for the whole world. But the reality is that we don't have Sharia law in the UK. It's not a near prospect either. What we have is about 80 Sharia councils up and down the country, and they deal with matters like divorce and marriage and civil. It's purely voluntary. It's completely non-legally binding.
It's just the Muslims being Muslims in their private time.
It's Muslims who take Islam seriously, wanting to abide by Islam. And they want to know what Islam says about this. They want to do things the right way if they're getting married, getting divorced, inheritance, that kind of stuff. They just want to do the things the right way. But it's not incumbent. No one. It's purely voluntary, and no one's forced to follow the rulings. So that's the reality of it. And the Jews have the same thing. They have this at Shin Beth or something. They have their own courts. And we're not trying to impose it on anybody. I mean, literally, it's Muslims being Muslims. That's all it is. Yeah. We're not going around into the wider arena and saying Sharia law for Britain or whatever, Sharia for the UK.
And it's crazy how Farage is like, oh, it's so great when the Jewish community are doing this, totally fine and acceptable. But when Muslims do it, oh, it's outrageous, we need to ban it and make it illegal. It's completely ridiculous. And there's something wrong with his pie. They do have an obsession with Islam.
Of course.
It's like a GB News level obsession. They can't get Muslims out
because they
of their
know it's
head.
popular.
And it's because it's popular, so they're really feeding into this. I think his colleague, fellow MP, Richard Tice.
Yes.
He's pretty obsessed. Sarah Potchins as well.
Oh, Sarah Potchins is absolutely. She's on the burqa. Richard Tice is obsessed with Sharia law.
Yeah, and Sharia courts.
Potchin is obsessed with burqas.
Yeah, so burqas. And again, it's like, there's just no argument for it, really. I mean, Muslims give so much to this country, frankly speaking. You know, and I mean, the way Britain has treated the Muslim world, you know, you wonder why any Muslim would want to give anything positive towards Britain. Yeah. But they do. And it's a fantastic community, which I know very, very well. And then to hear people who don't know a damn thing about Islam, It's not Sharia law, it's Sharia. In English, it translates to Islamic law. They don't even know what they're talking about. Richard Tice says, oh, we should implement policies to ban Sharia in this country. He said that once. It's like, do you even know what that is? Sharia is everything. What, you're going to ban the Quran, ban
praying,
mosques, ban praying, ban fasting? Let me just be very, very clear to all of you knuckleheads out there, people who don't even know a damn thing, a damn word of Arabic, let alone about the religion of Islam. If you outlaw Islam somehow, if you come up with some law and say the whole religion is banned, there is no way Muslims will abandon the religion. Even when Muslims are persecuted, as we've seen them in Gaza, or genocided, as we've seen in Gaza, they're standing by the religion. Israel is literally mass murdering Muslims in Gaza. And it's happened in Iraq, it's happened in Afghanistan, it's happened elsewhere. You cannot destroy or stop Islam or Muslims practicing it. It's a religion that we are more loyal to than any state, any other ideology, any other principle. We stand above Islam first and foremost. So no matter what you do, no matter what laws or parties get elected or whatever else happens, you will not stop Islam being practiced by Muslims in this country. So I suppose mass deportations will become the thing, won't it? Mass deporting Muslims. That's why all these far-right types on the absolute fringes, they just go for, we need to mass deport all Muslims, don't they? Because they know that point. They know that Muslims are loyal to religion. It's not like Christianity, okay? We don't reform it. We don't ditch it. We don't go off and, you know, go to some nightclub rather than go to the church, keep our churches empty and our nightclubs full. We are holding on tight to the rope of Allah and to the rope of Islam, and that's it. And you can do it whatever you want. It's not going to change.
Yeah, look, I mean, if they deport Muslims from this country, it'll be their loss. You know, NHS would collapse.
Yeah.
Public services would collapse.
Doesn't make sense.
Taxpayers' receipts, tax receipts would absolutely, you know, go down the pan. You know, food, culture. Britain would be a lot less interesting place. It'll be their loss. And aging population, they need younger people to work, to fill those pension funds. Everyone knows this, and even Reform UK knows this. But obviously they're just trying to get into power, so they're saying a few incendiary things. But the last thing I would like to say on this is, look, what's wrong with us just, you know, what is wrong with us even advocating for Sharia? If that's what we believe is right, because this is a free country,
speech,
right? It's not a Christian country, it's a secular country, which means that all religions have the right to propagate what they believe. And Christians can say Jesus is king. You know, they can, you know, I always see these Christians on high streets, spouting the Bible, saying Jesus is king and all this. No issue if they want to do that, fine. But so can we do it, because this is not a Christian country. It's a secular country. There is a massive difference. And if one day Britain does become a Muslim country through the force of peaceful argument, what's wrong with that? Isn't that freedom of speech? Isn't it democracy? Look, even if Muslims go full pelts advocating for Sharia from day one now, it's going to take hundreds of years for this country, because of the demographics, to become Muslim. So literally hundreds of years. And that's if we do it in a peaceful way, which is the only way that we would ever do it anyway. What is wrong with that? Aren't we exercising our democratic, secular, peaceful right to propagate what we believe in?
Yeah, exactly.
And what are they afraid of? If their values are strong, and if their arguments are strong and can stand the test of time, then they have nothing to worry about if Muslims try to propagate Islam.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you talk about Christians. There's actually been upset among some Christians, but it's not related to anything to do with Islam. It's actually upset at so-called fellow Christians. So here is the headline: UK church leaders condemn Tommy Robinson over his march as a corruption of Christianity. So this is the far-right demo which I attended.
Yeah, tell me about that. What was it like?
Oh yeah, it was a blast. Yeah, absolute blast. A typical Tommy Robinson march.
They weren't urinating as much, were they? They were behaving a bit better at the beginning anyway.
Well, the funny thing is, Tommy Robinson really made the effort.
Yeah.
Prior to this, he was releasing video after video, urging his supporters, be on your best behaviour. There'll be people coming.
Go to the toilet before you arrive.
Yeah. He even said, you know, don't drink in public.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he totally said don't drink, but he said like limit it.
He did say no alcohol, didn't he?
No alcohol on the street, that type of thing. So he was, he was really trying his best to rein in these supporters who are known for hooligan behavior, pissing in the street, assaulting people, attacking police officers. He was like, no, let's polish up our act. We've got a movement going here. We've got momentum. Let's do it.
Let's pretend for one day that we're not thugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they couldn't help themselves, Roshan. They couldn't help themselves. There was a massive fight at Trafalgar Square, people drinking all over the place, Islamophobic chanting, blasphemous chanting, racist anti-immigrant, anti-refugee banners and all that type of stuff. But there's a new phenomena here happening. I've actually mentioned this at past demos. They're trying to Christianize the movement. Obviously, this comes from America.
Yeah.
Tommy Robinson
Christian Zionism. Yeah.
Tommy Robinson being an opportunist and a bit of a grifter. He's seen what's going on there. He's felt the change of the winds. This is someone who we've known is not a Christian in any sense of the word, never has been. He's been a total nationalist. It's all about borders and skin color and all that type of thing with him, religion. But now all of a sudden he's a born-again Christian and he has all these Christian speakers and people waving crosses at his rallies and all that type of stuff. And now actual proper Christians have started to condemn him for it because it's obviously making all Christians look like a bunch of far-right nutters who like to punch up police officers. So let's have a clip here. This was shared by Smile to Jannah. This is who Tommy Robinson really is. So the so-called Christian who was raised among an Irish family. He's half Irish, I think.
He's Catholic, right?
He's half Catholic. Here's his true opinion, as we've always known it, about Christianity and Catholicism.
I'll tell you the truth, I was brought up a Catholic, I christened my kids a Catholic, I wish I didn't. I christened my kids a Catholic for my mum. My mum's a devout Catholic. I'm not. I'll tell you the truth, I was brought up a Catholic, I christened my kids a Catholic, I wish I didn't.
So yeah, that's Tommy Robinson, who we've always known him as. He's not like Christianity at all. But yeah, all of a sudden now...
Follow the money, baby. That's what it is.
Follow the money, follow the money. So he's mimicking what's going on in America. And obviously, it's led to this kind of Charlie Kirk style Christian conservative Zionism coming over to British shores. And that's what he's trying to represent.
It's a joke. British people, in America, I've not been to America, you have. But from what I understand is America is quite a religious country. Even though, the white people...
they have genuine Christians there.
There's genuine Christians there who believe in God and Jesus or whatever. Whereas Britain is a secular country. And the people haven't got Christianity in their hearts here. They just haven't. Really. So it's a bit of a joke. But some of the speeches were outrageous. Some of the speeches, I don't know whether we can play some of them, like Valentina Gomez and a few of the Eastern European speakers literally calling for Islam, just slandering Muslims and Islam in the most despicable way. How they got into the country in the first place is a disgrace. What is the Home Office doing? They're banning people like Zakir Naik, or Sheikh Uthman Farouk, because of their views on homosexuality. These guys have the most vile, incendiary, anti-Islamic views. Why were they allowed into the country in the first place? They're dangerous hate speeches. This is an Islamophobic hate fest. And seriously, in the heart of London, and we have a Muslim mayor, we have a Muslim Home Secretary. What the hell were they doing allowing this march to take place outside Downing Street? This incendiary language. We have over 1 million Muslims in London. What were they doing? Like, why were we not organised to stop this from happening? Yeah. It actually points to our weakness and our disorganisation and our ineptitude as well as Muslim citizens of the capital city.
Yeah, let's play our clip just to get a taste of what you're talking about.
You're Stammer. You're the biggest pedophile protector in history. And God is watching, and you will pay for what you've done to England. And to the police officers, thank you for being here today. But I need you to stop following orders because you're being told to look the other way while your country's being raped into submission. It's either now or never. Because if these rapist Muslims take over, they will not only rape your women, they will behead your sons, just like they did on October 7th in Israel. So we either fight now or we die. We're fighters. We are warriors of Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I mean that's blatant incitement, isn't it? It's total
Blatant,
incitement.
and Elon Musk as well. Elon Musk, I mean, the richest man in the world, has organized all this basically. He's funded all of it. He's even saying you either fight now or you die.
Yeah.
I mean, why is, I mean, I think he's a regular visitor to England. Why should he even be allowed in this country? He's literally trying to instigate riots in this country.
Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. You're right. It should never have been allowed to happen. Should have been banned for multiple reasons. These guys are a threat. They're an absolute threat. And they're talking about Islam this and Islam that. Islam's a danger. Well, I didn't see Muslims going down to Trafalgar Square and battering police officers and attacking an anti-racism march, which was full of women and children. I didn't see any Muslims on stage that day calling for holy war in Britain, you know, which, you know, would horrify ordinary British people, the ones that I see walking the streets every day. The idea of descending the country in some kind of holy civil war is not very British, to be honest with you, from what I understand. But what I want to also mention while we're talking on this subject, of course, these guys are scum. Of course, they need to be, you know, stopped peacefully. I'm not calling for any violence like they are. I'm not like them. But despite all of this hate and all of the words of war that they're peddling out there and the attack that's happening against Islam at the moment, there's still loads of people that see through the lies, that see through the hate, and actually see the beauty of Islam behind it all. And what Lewisham Islamic Centre has been doing quite beautifully is releasing short videos on social media of British, English, white converts to Islam who they know. There are many of them at Lewisham that go there, do their shahada and engage with that community there. They're all over the country and they're just platforming this view which doesn't get put out anywhere. We do it at Five Pillars. They do it in Lewisham, but nowhere in the media are you hearing from Islam's many, many converts, the ones who perhaps hated Islam originally, saw the truth, and have now embraced it. Let's just play out a couple of beautiful clips, Roshan.
Assalamu alaikum and peace be upon you. My name's Tom. I'm a teacher, a PhD student. I'm white British, and I'm also Muslim, and I don't see any contradiction in that. And my message to the far right and anyone listening is that Islam is a religion of peace and love and tolerance and unity. It's existed for centuries in peace and harmony with other religions. And just like Britain, it's always been international. Britain has always accepted people from other cultures, from other countries for thousands of years. And my message is really that the powers that be, they're really trying to divide us, and we need to stand against that. As Muslims, we want a better Britain, we want a better society, and we want a better world for everyone, not just for Muslims. So we're looking to join together, stop the hate, and stop the racism. Migrants and Muslims, we're not your enemies. If you're not sure, I urge you to meet with your local Muslims, discuss with them, visit your local mosque. I'm sure you'll be well received. You'll definitely be well received here at Lewisham Islamic Centre. And yeah, we wish peace upon everyone, and let's unite and make this country a better place for everyone, inshallah. God.
We should put that on Five Pillars.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the right message to put out there, because I think even the mainstream media, they're obsessively covering the far right now. Reform's getting loads of coverage. Tommy Robinson's now being, I mean, Trevor Phillips, he basically praised the march. He said, he basically said...
peaceful march.
Yeah, it was largely peaceful. Most people there have legitimate concerns.
It was a big march, isn't it? I mean, Tommy Robinson's saying 3 million, which is, which he's...
I've been
he's
there when
basically
there's a million, and it wasn't even a million, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's on coke, isn't he? But, it was at least 150,000, I think. So still huge. Still a huge march.
It was.
I think this country generally is... When I'm talking about the non-Muslims here, the debate is about whether this country should be a multicultural country or not. And I think it's pretty much 50-50 amongst the non-Muslims. You know, I think in the bigger cities, they prefer the multicultural aspect, but outside of the big cities, probably not. That's the impression I get.
Yeah. I just think that, you know, it's a shame, because I used to be Christian, And obviously there are good Christians. They're not all bad, like how they're being portrayed here. There actually are some decent, especially the Church of England type, the kind of tea with the vicar, they're just quiet, keep themselves, potter along to church.
Yeah, they're relatively harmless.
Eat cucumber sandwiches and whatnot. They're just getting on with life. And then you have Tommy Robinson, a blatant grifter, coming along and commandeering what's supposed to represent them and making it all about hate and war and division and everything and incitement. And I just think that Christians need to do more to protect themselves. The few that remain here, because
they're not speaking up really.
Basically, Christianity has become Israel's little Goy movement. Yeah. It's just a complete little proxy so they can incite violence and destroy the West in order to prop up their little colonialist genocide project. That's all it's become.
This whole thing is a foreign influence project. It's American oligarchs, it's Zionists trying to deliberately stoke up tension in the UK to basically suit their own ends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've created this media, social media, and political ecosystem through their funds and their incitement, and they're trying to take power. That's what's going on. And they're liars as well. They're complete liars. Nothing they say. They're the most blatant liars on social media. Nothing they say which is backed up with evidence, but they don't care because they're following the Nazi Goebbels formula, which is, say things enough time, repeat it again and again, and it becomes fact. Yeah. That's their tactic. Yeah. And unfortunately, there are so many stupid people in this country that are leading shit lives, quite frankly, rubbish lives. And the reason for those rubbish lives is because of the people in power in this country who are exploiting them. But instead of blaming who they should blame, they're blaming the Muslims. Yeah. They're blaming the brown people. They're blaming the immigrants. And they're too thick to understand what's going on. They're being manipulated by Zionists and foreign oligarchs like Elon Musk.
Yeah, they're being radicalized as well, massive radicalization. There was a woman who was caught with a bunch of knives trying to go and stab up some migrants in hotels based on footage she watched, caught heard, and Tommy Robinson's
It's out of control, and the politicians haven't got a hold on this.
Yeah,
we're warning about this, and we're seeing what's happening at street level. I don't see the mainstream media warning about it. I don't see political parties warning about it. I don't see the authorities getting a hold on it. They're just letting the UK slide into this racist, Islamophobic hellhole.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking about Christianity, we're going to go over to the Charlie Kirk killing, something which we haven't discussed much. Obviously, everyone knows who Charlie Kirk is now and how he was killed, but there's a lot of question marks, Roshan. A lot of question marks.
What are your question marks?
There's something
You love a good conspiracy theory.
There's something going on, Roshan. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to paint you a picture of serious doubt. Frankly, Israel's behind it. Possibly. That's what everyone's saying.
How?
That's what everyone's saying. So, Charlie Kirk, someone who is a Christian conservative Zionist, big in America, close to the White House, a Trump supporter, helped to get him into the White House, whatever. And also he said very horrible, vile things about Palestine, about Muslims, about Islam, about our beloved prophet. Everyone knows who Charlie Kirk is, all right? Now, he was killed under very suspicious circumstances. A random shooter out of nowhere took him out on university campus. It's America. People get shot all the time. People are starting to raise questions, people who know him, saying, well, actually, Charlie Kirk, behind the scenes, was living in fear of pro-Israel groups who were attacking him privately because he was refusing Israeli money. He was changing his position a little bit on Israel amid the genocide. He was starting to question them a little bit. He was starting to hit back. He wasn't being a good goy, like how so many others, like Tommy Robinson, for example. He wasn't doing as he was told exactly. And it turns out that shortly after he was killed, Netanyahu starts to spin it, starts to say, oh, we're so sorry he's killed. Islamists and all that stuff, they're a problem, linking it to Islam. But actually, people have been coming out and raising serious questions about who the killer actually is. Was it the guy that we are being told was the one who killed him, or was it a patsy? How was this killing actually done? There was a rifle on the roof. The guy fled the scene. Where did the rifle go? The rifle wasn't in the footage. Do you remember when he jumped off the roof? He had a backpack on, jumped off the roof, no rifle.
Right.
According to the FBI, he folded up the rifle.
Hid it in the woods.
Hid it in his backpack somehow. even though it can't physically fit. That's what people are saying. Jumped off the building, reassembled it again, and left it to be found in the woods. So a lot of question marks over that. And people are literally believe that Israel may have a dirty hand in this, that maybe Israel took him out.
So what,
Well,
they used him as a patsy, or someone else was the shooter?
The shooter, who's apparently this left-wing extremist with a trans partner or whatever, maybe it's a patsy. There was a guy who was caught at the protest, the guy with his trousers down, who said it was me that done it.
The older guy.
They're saying maybe he was a diverter to get everyone's attention away while the real shooter got away.
Because the police say that he was a person of no interest.
Yeah, person of no interest, who then coincidentally shortly afterwards gets caught doing child porn. So he's been whisked off to prison. No one can question him any further.
Right.
This weirdo with his trousers down. So just read here. So Netanyahu says Israel did not kill Charlie Kirk, rejecting the idea circulating on the media, claiming it's far right. Candace Owens, a Christian conservative commentator in America who knew Charlie Kirk very, very well, says that it may be the fact that he was turning on Israel and rejected Israeli money that may be behind or have something to do with his suspicious sudden death. Let's hear what Candace Owens has to say about it.
Denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel. Or I would describe this as like, re-education camp. We've seen it. You made an uh-oh, but we can help you. We just need you to come out to Auschwitz and take a picture. Yeah. We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to Israel and we can make this better. Charlie said no to Bibi. Okay. Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened, because our sources and what we have, it's solid, okay? There were conversations that took place, messages that were sent at that time, and they are solid, so.
So she goes on to explain a little bit more about her idea that he was scared and that he was basically at odds with the pro-Israel movement. This is George Zinn, the elderly rabble-rouser who was falsely accused of... who falsely claimed that he shot Charlie Kirk. He's been hit with the child porn charges, so he's suddenly done a disappearing act. This is a video which details how the rifle which was allegedly used to conduct the killing is long, difficult to take apart. It takes a long time to disassemble a rifle. And even when you do disassemble it, which takes minutes and minutes and minutes, you wouldn't even be able to fit it in the bag, the one that he was filmed carrying, because you see, even when it's disassembled, how on earth would he have had the rifle in that backpack in order to reassemble it elsewhere?
You've been going down an internet rabbit hole, haven't you?
This is not a rabbit hole, Roshan. There's something going on here. There is something going on.
I don't know. No comment.
Charlie Kirk.
Yes,
do you know, Roshan, that he was lobbying Trump not to attack Iran? Because he said there would be a war on Israel's interests, not an American interests. This is someone who wasn't following the script. Okay. This is someone who deviated from the plan, and Israel said, maybe we need to take him out. Maybe we need to take him out. And now they're using it to feed into the culture war, which is destroying America, destroying the West, so Israel can keep going, so Netanyahu can stay in power, so they can keep the money going. They can blame Muslims. That's where Netanyahu's pointing the
Charlie
finger.
Kirk was turning against Israel, basically.
A little bit, a little bit. And then they took him out. And now he's a martyr for their cause, and they're blaming Muslims, they're blaming lefties. The left is the biggest movement taking on Israel right now, okay? Obviously Muslims are in there, but in the West, the left are the ones pushing for Netanyahu to be held to war crimes, to go to court, to go to jail.
I know he's banned
to
Antifa,
stop arming Israel, to, stop getting Zionists elected as leaders of the Western world, all that type of stuff. Israel needs to take them down. If they take out this little guy was deviating from the script, blame the left for it. Can you see? They're manipulating it. They're manipulating public opinion. They're keeping the left out. They're keeping Muslims down. It's just like 9/11. It's just like 9/11 all over again, Roshan. The most public assassination. We still don't even know all the details.
I mean, the ramifications of it so far is clearly that Vance and Trump have signaled that they're going to go after the left, the radical left, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they've said
9/11. just like 9/11, they wanted to go after Islamic terrorism or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they invade all these countries that had nothing to do with 9/11. Regime change, destroy them. And who benefited from it, Roshan? You tell me. Begins with an I.
Should we move on?
It begins with an I. It's Israel, damn it. It's Israel. There is something going on. We need the truth. But I'll tell you something, Roshan.
Yeah.
The truth won't come out. The truth will not come out. We don't know the truth about 9/11. We don't know the truth about Charlie Kirk. And we never will. We don't know the truth about the Epstein frickin' Island files. Trump said he was going to release it. Charlie Kirk said Trump was going to release it. What happened to Charlie Kirk? He's dead. He's dead, Roshan. There is something going on.
Okay.
There is something going on. Release the list. Release who really killed Charlie Kirk. And tell us who did 9/11. I'll tell you who it is. It begins with an I. All right? Begins with an I. But
Ireland.
They're never going to... Yeah, Ireland.
We've solved the mystery.
Well, there you
Anything
go.
else? What else is...
Just the Your Party stuff. Let's end on a
oh,
funny
we
one.
have to talk about Your Party.
So
don't
Your
we?
Party's a lot of fun. It's turned out to be a great laugh. It's been a depressing time in British politics. I have to say, I'm worried, I'm concerned, I'm anxious. The Your Party comes along and it's nice to have a laugh. It's been good to have a laugh.
They are an absolute joke.
Absolute joke.
Absolute joke.
The latest is Jeremy Corbyn has apologised for everything that's happened.
Oh, is he?
He came out. They've released an official video, so now you can sign up as a member. That was today.
Oh, was it?
I'm keeping an eye on it.
I haven't even seen it.
I could probably bring it up once I give you a chance to speak. He's released a video. He did apologise. He said they haven't covered themselves in much glory, to say the least.
They both apologised, or Corbyn
No,
apologised?
Corbyn apologised for the fiasco that's happened over the last week in the video, but said, we're ready to move on now. Here's our membership.
Everything's going to be hunky-dory now.
Everything's fine. Don't worry about that.
We're not going to argue ever again.
Yeah, everything's fine. Let's crack on. Zara Sultana has dropped her lawsuit. So they've smoothed that over.
They're going to sue each other.
That was so funny, man.
The left is literally investing its future in these two clowns who a week ago were going to sue each other.
That was so funny. Well, they put their troubles aside. They're moving on now, and they're encouraging you to sign up and give your money to them. They'll handle it properly this time, they promise.
Where's my fiver?
Yeah, but no,
I trust them completely.
Yeah, they're adamant that they're ready to go now. He also announced that the conference will take place, this long overdue conference which everyone's waiting for, and he insists they're going to pass on. They're just stewards that are trying to pass on your...
So they're not going to be leaders of the party anymore?
I mean, obviously, if they get elected leaders, they will be. So it's a bit of a rigged thing, I guess.
They're both going to stand.
I don't know what to say. Look, it's just it's all over the place. I can't even keep up with everything that's going on. Who's suing who? Also, the Muslim independents are being very quiet about this. I know Adnan
They
Hussein
made
had
a colossal mistake by
They had a
joining
pop
this.
back at Adnan got involved in the little dispute, didn't he? Because Zara Sultana hates his guts, and I don't think he's very fond of her. But the other Muslim independents, they've been deadly quiet. I mean, this is a total joke.
They conceded it's a shambles, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they're keeping their hands clean, but it's not stopping them from going along with the project. They'll now fully engage again, even though it's blatantly like dodgy from start to finish.
Here are my views, Robert. I think that Corbyn and Sultana, with their ridiculous shenanigans over the past couple of weeks, have proved that they're not leadership material. Jeremy Corbyn, we know from his time as Labour leader, is not a leader. He's a prevaricator. He's very influenced by his advisors. He can't make decisions, and he can't implement, basically. He's not a leader, but what I think he is a cash cow, and he is a vote winner. So if you're
popular, likable,
if your party are going to,
he's good on a vegetable patch.
If your party are going to continue, then I think that they need him on board as some kind of, kind of not supreme leader. That's the wrong thing, but some kind of someone you wheel out to kind of address crowds. And get. They need him on board to get money in, because he's obviously someone who can generate money and win votes.
He's a prize courgette in a vegetable competition. Do you know what I mean?
Zara Sultana, I honestly think that your party need to sack her, because she is a student politician who is very emotional, who is a fundamentalist as well. She cannot abide. your party being anything but a fundamentalist leftist party, pro-trans, pro-LGBT. She doesn't care about the Muslim vote, I don't think. But they need the Muslim vote to actually win seats. And I think Corbyn realizes that. I think the best thing to do is for your party to actually sack her and tell her to go and join the Greens, because she's not going to keep quiet. She's going to keep causing trouble. Yeah. And she's not a leadership material at all. She can't coexist with people who have slightly different views to her. So I think they have completely negated themselves as leaders of this project. I think, there is a appetite out there for a leftist party. For whatever reason, people aren't totally satisfied with the Greens. So I think to say, go join the Greens is not a satisfactory solution for a lot of people on the left. Clearly, this party could get a lot of money and could get a lot of votes, but it just can't be led by these two clowns. And I actually quite... I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want Muslims to have anything to do with it. But as an impartial observer, I quite like the idea of, a grassroots movement taking over the party and maybe electing officials, which aren't these two.
Let's see how it goes. Who knows?
But I think the lesson for Muslims, the last thing I would say on this is, the lesson for Muslims is just stay away from this. It's clearly a nascent project which may work without these two. Or it may not work. Muslims don't need to get involved in all this shenanigans. Let the lefties do their thing. And if they sort their act out after a year or 2 years, then maybe we can have some role in this project at an arm's length, kind of point of view. Maybe even it might be advantageous for us to vote for them in certain constituencies, but don't join them, don't get near them, don't get polluted by their LGBT, trans, internal arguments. Just leave well alone for the time being.
Zahra Sultana made absolutely clear that she hates socially conservative types and doesn't want them in the pie. So why would Muslims then trip over themselves to join this pie? Do you know what I mean? The Muslim independents...
Because they're desperate. I think Muslims are desperate for some kind of... Some Muslims are quite naive and they think that this party is going to take down reform. It isn't. It actually makes it easier for reform to win because they split the left vote. Yeah. I think the only thing that could stop reform from winning is, as I said, a grand alliance of parties on the left, which could even include the Liberal Democrats. That could have some kind of merit to it. But I don't think Muslims need to get involved at this stage or try and build a leftist movement, get involved with lefties, just leave well alone. And I think the Muslim MPs, unfortunately, I've come to an opinion that they were elected in as independents. They weren't elected in to join any leftist party. And now that they've done that, I think they've gone against a lot of people who voted for them. And I think perhaps they should even hold by-elections in their constituencies, because we didn't elect them in as part of any other ticket apart from an independent ticket. So, I think they need to look at themselves, and they also need to ask whether they've really betrayed might be a strong word, but have they really kind of followed the wishes of their constituents?
Yeah, I just think that, we do need a good left pie in Britain in general. I think we also do need these Muslim independents in there saying what has to be said. But yeah, everyone's just got to get their act together, I think. And if they start to perform well, obviously, praise where it's due. Like the Greens right now, Zach Polansky, regardless of all the other things that anyone may have about him, all the Greens, they're the best performing left-wing party at the moment.
One good thing that the Muslim MPs did do is when they call for military action against Israel, when they call for a stop to this genocide, that was impressive. Yeah. Because I think that this is something that is not... all Muslims should be doing this now. And non-Muslims, quite frankly, as well. It's nothing illegal about this. Like, we all talk about what if only we had intervened in Rwanda to stop that genocide. If only we had intervened militarily in Bosnia at an early stage to stop the genocide. We have a genocide going on. Why are we not intervening militarily against Israel? We have the firepower to do it, Western countries, even South American countries or any country. I'm not just talking about Muslim nations here. We know that Muslim leaders are sellouts and they're completely useless. I'm talking about a coalition of international nations, maybe under the aegis of the UN. This should be what we should be talking about: military action against Israel to stop a genocide. Imams should be talking about it. Muslim influencers should be talking about it. Non-Muslims should be talking about it. Every, boycotts haven't worked, Robert, have they? Tweeting hasn't worked. Videos haven't worked. All this non-violent, peaceful, movement that we have, had for the last 2 years, these mass demonstrations, none of it has worked. It is the time now to move to sanctions, absolute sanctions and military action against Israel to stop the genocide in Gaza.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that should be our messaging at every level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, official militaries from around the world saving black children,
saving the Palestinians from being slaughtered. Simple as that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this show, and I think we've hit all the big topics that we wanted to hit. We will, inshallah, regain more consistency. We'll see how things go next week. But brothers and sisters, it is mostly because we are a modest-sized team with limited resources, and we are covering a lot of news globally, as much as the best we possibly can. So your continued support, of course, is highly needed and welcomed. So please do like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel immensely. I will leave links to our support page if you'd like to support us directly as well with our work. And until next time, I guess it's Assalamu alaikum, ma salama for now. And don't forget, leave your comments in the comment section below as well. We like to like and respond to our favorite ones. So God bless, and inshallah, we'll see you in the near future.
Okay, assalamu alaikum.